So today I'm going to be talking about why The Half-Blood Prince is the best Harry Potter movie in the series. There's 7 books, 8 movies. It's just kind of always been my favorite. Couple fun facts: the book sold 9 million copies within the first 24 hours. For the author of that, is super glad to hear those numbers. They had to push production back during the filming just because they were a little lackluster on time, and they started to receive death threats from fans just because there were so many diehard fans wanting the movie to be released, and they were upset about it. Emma Watson almost backed out of filming. She was going to school at the time while filming, so she kind of had to prioritize which one she wanted to do. Eventually ends up going with filming it just because she didn't want to see someone else play her role. Simple storyline is Harry's trying to find a Horcrux to help destroy Lord Voldemort and kind of restore goodness to the world. And this is kind of where we really discover what a Horcrux is and the importance of it. It really builds the foundation for the last movie because without knowing what the Horcrux is and kind of the purpose of it, there wouldn't be able to be a conclusion to the series. We get a really in depth look at the characters this film, which prior to we didn't get such a deep dive on them. We get to see different sides, which is cool. The production and the acting is super good. Snape is probably the best performance in the movie. He has a lot of scenes and he just performs greatly. Malfoy, we get to see his sympathetic side, and there's a point where you almost feel bad for him, which is not something you've experienced as a viewer in the previous films. The production's super good. There's a lot of dramatic scenes, a lot of fighting scenes, emotional scenes, and it's kind of cool to see the camera work differently in each scene just to kind of prioritize what they're trying to get across to the viewers. It really builds the foundation for the movie. Can't finish the series without knowing what happens in this movie. Ends up finding out about the Horcruxes from viewing memories of past professors. Some of the top 5 characters that had the biggest development, I think, are listed here. Not in particular order, just the 5 that I thought had the most development. Starting with Hermione. She's kind of the smart, intelligent, moral, ethical person in their friend group who everyone kind of goes to as their leader just because she's so intelligent. We get to see her get heartbroken and be jealous, which is rare for her, which is kind of a different side we get to see, which is cool. She's always supporting Harry in his adventures and kind of lets Harry take charge in this movie, which is something she usually does just because she's so in control of everything and so intelligent. Harry Potter, Gryffindor student, kind of viewed as the last person who is going to be able to restore goodness to the wizarding world by defeating Lord Voldemort. He becomes a leader, like I said, Hermione taking a step back. He really takes a step forward. He deals with loss in this movie, having to witness his almost father-like figure die in front of him and him not being able to do anything. We get to see his love side. It's kind of hinted at in previous movies of him liking somebody, but this one it really shows him falling in love with somebody. Dumbledore, which is my personal favorite. He's the headmaster of Hogwarts, super smart, intelligent, powerful wizard, father-like figure in Harry's life. It shows Professor Dumbledore being more directly involved. In previous films, he's kind of in the back, just advising them in the background without being too directly involved. People would go to him for advice. He's dying throughout the movie, which he knows and no one else knows, but he's having to sacrifice himself essentially for the greater good. Malfoy, always viewed as the bad guy, kind of Harry Potter's rival. Um, he's the son of a Death Eater, and at the bottom picture you can kind of see he ends up being one too. He's given more screen time than any other movie I think combined in this movie, and there's even parts of the movie where you almost feel bad for him, which is something a viewer hasn't experienced prior to this. He's given the task by Voldemort to carry out killing Dumbledore, and he has the biggest character transformation in this movie, I think, in my opinion. Yeah, tasked to kill Dumbledore. He battles emotionally throughout the whole movie, always seen as rude, and it's nice to see a different side of him. Severus Snape, also kind of viewed as a bad guy, even though he's a teacher. He's the head of the Slytherin house. So he kind of takes a vow to watch over Malfoy, and if Malfoy doesn't go through with killing Dumbledore, then Snape vows to do it for him. Some of the best scenes is the fighting scene when they discover the Horcrux. It's just Dumbledore and Harry Potter together. Dumbledore's forced to drink this poison to expose the Horcrux, and kind of as they're starting to get out of there, all these creatures emerge from the water. they drag Harry underwater, and then you see Dumbledore just do a fire spell that kills them all, and then they end up escaping. But it's just a very well produced scene. This scene is where Snape is on top of the clock tower. Dumbledore ends up dying due to Snape killing him, just because Malfoy wouldn't do it. But right before his death, Dumbledore's begging not to die, and he does it anyways. So it kind of leaves Harry wondering how and why he would betray Dumbledore. But this is definitely the best movie in the series, in my opinion. The acting is great. Um, Obviously, if you're going to start the series, you need to start on episode 1 or movie 1, but this would be a great one to look forward to just because it's so good. The filming is great. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it.